Hi, my name's Alan Canas. I'm one of the top real estate agents in the United States. I serve a niche market in California called the San Francisco Peninsula. Today I'm taking you back in time to a place that is so magical, so steeped in California history, you will want to plan a trip to see it all for yourself. Welcome to Filoli Historic House and Gardens. Located in Woodside, California, Filoli was built by William Bourne II and his wife, Agnes Moody Bourne. They lived here from 1917 to 1936. Owners of the Empire Mine, one of California's richest gold mines. It's worth over $8 billion today, and the Spring Valley Water Company. In 1937, the estate was purchased by Mr. William P. Roth and Mrs. Lurlane Matson Roth, heiress to the Matson Navigation Company, which provided ocean shipping services across the Pacific to Hawaii, the South Pacific, China, and Japan. Filoli House stands as California's most triumphant example of the Georgian revival tradition and is one of the finest remaining country estates of the early 20th century. We are headed inside to meet with Julie DeVere, head curator here at Filoli.
Welcome, Alan.
Good morning, Julie. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Where are we going to go today?
Let's go get drunk first.
Wow, it's only 10 a.m. It's like an episode of MTV's Cribs. So I can't wait to see what we're going to see next.
Oh, I'm excited to show you.
Oh, now what's up with the cute little bulldog? I have 2 bulldogs at home.
Oh, well,
yeah.
You were in good company. The Bournes had a little French bulldog named Toto that lived here in the late 1920s.
Oh.
And so for our junior visitors, there's 5 Toto dogs spread throughout the house. And if they can find a whole paw full, they get a sticker to take home with them.
Oh, really? Oh, now we're going to be on the search.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is your first one.
Number 1. Okay, great.
Well, let's head into the ballroom.
Okay, I can't wait to see. Oh, wow. This staircase looks familiar.
I'm sure you recognize it. It's been in a number of things. The game with all the graffiti.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's always most joyous in Rent.
Rent, that's where I've seen it.
Remember that drink I promised you?
Yes, but I don't see a bar at all.
You just have to know where to look.
Oh, wow, look at that wallpaper. Very nice setup. Look at these ceilings, the detail up there. Now, tell me about the bowls.
So Mrs. Roth was born Lurleen Matson,
Okay.
and her father started Matson Navigation Company.
That's
basically
right.
Taking things back and forth between San Francisco and the Kingdom of Hawaii.
Gorgeous pieces, and look who we have here.
Oh, you found your second one.
You're all that I want, all that I want. You're all that I need, all that I need.
Now, I see a large safe.
During the Bourne period, this was Mr. Bourne's personal study. It's one of multiple vaults that
Wow.
was put into the house originally.
Well, you can't, wow.
It's bigger than it looks,
You
right?
get back here. This really was their private area.
This was their favorite room in the house.
This is a true wow factor.
It never gets old.
The chandeliers are amazing. Wow. I mean, wow.
This room is a perfect example of the Bournes sparing no expense to pull together their vision for what they wanted for Filoli.
Just amazing. And the crystals, the chandeliers.
The crystal chandeliers were all custom ordered, designed, built for Filoli in Paris.
This is spectacular. And what about the fireplace?
The fireplace was also designed along with the chandeliers by Maison Bax in France, and it's a beautiful scaled down copy of the Herculean salon at Versailles.
Wow. I mean, just the magnitude of this fireplace is amazing.
It's a wonderful room, and we still have an incredible concert series that happens throughout the year.
Wow, I love this room. I love the wallpaper. It's very masculine.
This room hopefully will read even more masculine soon. It's a room in transition.
Ah, okay.
We're taking it back to a late-born, early Roth period gentleman's lounge.
And the floors, it looks like bow ties.
Well, in a gentleman's lounge, you'd need a little touch.
Just a little.
Just a little. These are little bow tie inlays, and it was actually very common, and it was most well known out here in the West Coast for putting into floors like this.
I've never seen that. Now this is another amazing room.
This is one of my favorite rooms.
I can see why. Now, what type of wood is this?
Unlike the most of the house, which is oak, this one is American walnut.
Okay, this is just attention to detail. The wood carvings are just spectacular. So is the room set up as they lived in it?
Very close. Of course, I've had to make some allowances for walkways.
Okay.
But we really try to look at historic photos to reset the rooms as much as possible.
Okay, oh, and I noticed number 3.
You're almost there.
Toto, okay. And these are terrific. This is Mr. Bourne and Mrs. Bourne.
Yes, William and Agnes, right at the time that they built the house. So this was, as William put in a letter once, a place to grow young.
They look terrific. Oh. Okay, nice seeing you, Toto. This room is grand. Now, this would be the receiving room?
This is your proper reception room.
Wow.
So butlers would have shown you in from either the gentlemen's or the ladies' cloakrooms, and you would have met your host and hostess here.
I mean, just the detail on these carvings are, wow. I keep saying wow.
No, it's a common reaction. I still have it myself.
So tell me about the carpet.
This is actually a really rare piece of textile history. This is a table carpet. What I mean by that is today we would probably call it a tablecloth, but of course it's woven like a tapestry.
That makes sense.
This was probably woven in the mid-1500s. And you can imagine big parties, lots of candles, mead, all these things, most of them didn't survive.
Wow, gorgeous. I see that this room is set up for something.
This is set up as it would have been during the Roth period for one of the debutante balls. Beautiful gowns, couture, decorations,
and caviar. Caviar, okay.
You might break a tooth on that wood.
Okay.
You know, to go along with the debutante balls, we have an original Tony Duquette decoration.
Oh, now this I need to see.
This was Lurleen Coonan's debutante ball in 1964. And her grandmother hosted the party for her, and it was called the Blue and White Ball.
This is spectacular.
Well, this is one of the flying ships that Tony Duquette made just for her. They were on tables, soaring from the tent ceilings, filled with flowers.
And this is the 1964 white ball.
Yes.
It's spectacular.
Mrs. Roth spared no expense for these big parties.
And what would she have spent on some of these balls?
Over $100,000 in decorations alone.
Amazing. So we are in the dining room.
All set for the drunks' dinner. To celebrate the repeal of Prohibition in November of 1933, the Bournes held what was coined the drunks' dinner.
This looks like a really fun time. So the Bournes actually did not attend.
No, being sober, they were not expected, is what the invitation actually read.
Okay. And so who actually hosted?
His sisters.
Looks like they had a really good time here.
They did. They had poems written by one of his nephews, which basically roasted every attendee.
One of the things that amazed me regarding Filoli is this, the silver.
This is a Tiffany family silver service. It's almost pure sterling.
Okay.
And it weighs enough that it usually takes about 5 guys to take it up and down the staircase.
And how many people does it?
18 place settings.
Okay.
And there's 28 forks and knife per place setting, depending on your course and time of day. And then hostess pieces.
See, gotta have the hostess pieces. This is terrific.
It's a beautiful set.
So this is a true butler's pantry.
Definitely.
I'm looking around and I'm seeing all of this china. You know, my grandmother entertained, and she entertained only once a year, and she had china for each season. How much china is there actually in here?
Well, today we have more than 300 sets of porcelain. But
okay, Grandma.
historically, the family may have had a few less.
Okay, and the Herman safe.
Another one of those safes I promised you. So this one was to keep their silver safe.
Wow, it keeps going.
You
this
can see
is amazing.
Well, and all that beautiful cabinetry is lined with silver cloth to make sure that your silver doesn't tarnish while it's not being used.
That's a lot of silver. And now this is the kitchen, the true kitchen. This is a large kitchen.
Well, you had 3 meals 3 times a day for the family, any children, and your staff.
So I don't recognize this stove or this hood. So,
Well, the hood is original, but
Okay.
originally there was an oil burning stove that was the full width. But during World War II, the Roth family, the stove broke, and due to wartime rationing, they couldn't replace it.
Okay.
But they did have an entire fleet of freight ships and cruise ships. So they actually took one of the maritime stoves out of the ships and brought it in here.
so actually, I mean, these handles you would actually hold on when you were on the ship.
Yeah, the doors lock so that nothing would fly open,
Wow.
and all of your controls are up top so you wouldn't bump into them.
Amazing. So I saw out of the corner of my eye, dog number 5. So
You have earned your Toto sticker.
Little Toto is right over there. So being blocked from coming into the kitchen from getting a treat.
I'm sure he would have been begging for cookies.
That's right. I think we're almost at the end, right?
Yeah, you've got time in
So
the garden
we're
with
gonna
Jim.
That's right, after you.
Well, I've loved sharing the house with you
Thank
today.
you so much, Joey. This has been terrific. So now I'm off to see Jim Salyards. What's the best way to get to him?
You just want to head out into the garden.
Oh, terrific. So I take a left and a right.
Yes?
And then, wait, another right? Another left. Okay. This is huge. Okay, I'll find him. We're so lucky to get a private tour with Jim Salyards, the Director of Horticulture here at Filoli. And here's Jim now. Hi, Jim.
Hi, Alan. Welcome.
Thank you so much. So you've got to tell me about this door.
Yeah, this was the Bournes' front door in San Francisco, when they lived in San Francisco before moving to Filoli. And when they came here, they wanted to make it the entrance into the garden. And so now, when you approach this door, it's like you're going into Oz. There's all this brick surrounding this little courtyard here, and then you move into the garden and are just wowed by the color of the garden.
It really is like looking into Oz, like looking into another land. I mean, the view here is just amazing. So I guess our next step is
Let's
stepping
walk into
through.
the garden.
Okay, after you.
We're now walking above the sunken garden. This is the living room of the garden here at Filoli. It is a formal set of parterres with annual beds that we change twice a year and mix it up with containers and other things to add interest through the season.
Wow, it's just spectacular. I've been here, you know, through the years many, many times, and it's always ever changing. It's never the same each year. It's pretty amazing. I mean, this is spectacular. I could not imagine being here during that time, just being able to walk out from the estate, from the house, and just walking through and enjoying this.
Yeah, it's pretty magical when you're here on a quiet day and you kind of feel like it's your own. It really is special.
Amazing. So one of my favorite gardens is the Shark Garden. Would you please explain the history behind this? Because I think it's fascinating.
It really is. The formal name for the Shard is the Shark Cathedral Garden, and the reason for that is it is based on a stained glass window at the cathedral at Chartres, just outside of Paris. So this is one of the many stained glasses that is at the cathedral, and this is the Jesse tree window, and this garden tells the story of the lineage of Christ, actually. So the boxwood, it mimics the lead of the stained glass, And then you have the color of the different annuals to reflect the different colors of glass. And then also we have tree roses, giving it that stained glass effect.
Well, somebody had the vision. I mean, it's spectacular.
This is our garden house. The Bournes built it as the little pavilion in the garden where Mrs. Bourne would have tea in the afternoon. And then we know later that the Roths used it more for afternoon cocktails. And now we use it for events. We'll have small dinner parties in there. It really serves a lot of purposes, but really adds a lot to the garden.
Can this be rented out?
It can, yeah.
Oh, nice.
People will have dinners for, 15 or 20 people. It's really a special spot.
So this is one of your favorite sections of the gardens.
It is. These are the garden house beds, so they relate to the garden house, which we just saw. We have 18 different varieties of plants in these beds this year.
I'm seeing the bees, the butterflies, birds. I mean, it's just amazing, just what I'm seeing right now.
It really is like a natural habitat, and that was not at all part of the plan, but it's an exciting outcome of what we did.
This is spectacular. I can see why this is one of your favorites. So Jim, this area is unlike any of the other areas at Filoli Garden. What is this area called?
This is the knot garden. It's a very old tradition in garden design of having alternating. It can be one plant that weaves in and out to create the knot pattern, or it can be many things. And ours is a mix of different herbs. So you have beautiful lavender, germander, lavender cotton, myrtle, rosemary that create the pattern. So it kind of creates that weaving pattern up and down and around.
Well, I have to tell you, I'm envious, and you do a great job here,
Thank
everybody.
you.
So we've toured the house, we've immersed ourselves in these gorgeous gardens. What else could we possibly see? How about an actual fault line that runs across the property? That's right, you can see an actual fault line, 2 tectonic plates of the San Andreas Fault that runs across the Filoli Estate Trail. But guess what? We've got to change our shoes to go see it. So we have Mary Ann that's going to be here in just a moment that's going to take us on a little tour. Come and join me. Hi, Mary Ann.
Hello, Alan. Welcome. Welcome.
Ah, great to see you again.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we are on which bridge?
We are on Fault Creek Bridge here at Filoli.
And explain a little bit about this bridge. What makes it so special?
Well, it's special because we are on 2 different tectonic plates. You are standing on the North American plate, and I am standing on the Pacific plate, 2 tectonic plates.
And explain to me what would happen if a quake hit here. What would happen to us?
Well, the buildup of pressure underneath the earth, needing to be released, these 2 plates, the energy that would be dispersed would create waves, an earthquake. And the type of fault that this is, you would move to the right and I would move to the right. I would go this way and you would go that way.
Bye.
Yes, that's right.
The Bournes escaped San Francisco thinking they were escaping the big earthquake.
That's right.
And they built their house so close.
Yes. It must have been devastating to them after building this beautiful home, and within months of moving in 1917, find out that the fault line was in their backyard.
Amazing. I mean, I couldn't even imagine that. Bam.
But the architect, Willis Polk, really used good techniques in building, and the steel beam construction that he used for the house, even though it's withstood different tremors throughout the years and there's plaster cracks and whatnot. The home has stood the test of time, but it must have been a rude awakening.
Well, thank you so much
You're
for taking
welcome.
us on this tour of history and the San Andreas Fault.
Yes, yes.
So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Wonderful.